A huge moo to the herd, and welcome back to our playthrough of Rise of Industry. Where we left it last time, we'd converted our berry and cotton plantations from just selling straight to the town to instead producing fibres and dye. And we had just completed a contract which got us a increase of $2.43 million, which is very, very needed. We've also discovered that we're running short of water. So the first thing we're going to do on this one is to increase the amount of water siphons we've got so that we can hopefully ensure that we don't run out any more water. So let's get that sorted. Now I have noticed that smack bang in the middle of the town, Chillingham has its own water siphon. So we've got a little bit of competition for space, but let's see what we can do with. I don't want to be too close to Chillingham. As you can see, if I get too close to the town, I have an initial reduction of -5 to the town and then -2.5 every week, which is actually not something we want to do. As I mentioned in the last playthrough, the influence actually impacts the amount of interest you get charged on your loans, but also dictates whether you can or can't build and how much you can build for. So we want to make sure, this is within the catchment area for the warehouse, that I don't negatively impact the influence on the town, because otherwise it will cause me lots of issues. So we'll just drop you down here and we'll get you popped in there, you in there, and you right next door. And we'll just connect these all up. Pop you in there. Oh, why didn't that connect? There you go. And you can go in there. And I just want to make sure this water siphon is within the warehouse range, and it is. Okay, great. Speaking of warehouse range, I think it's time we increase the range. Now that's going to cost us 1.8 million. So I'm going to take that hit. And we'll get the game running. So water is going to be a big impact for us. As you can see, this berry farm has gone red, which means it's not producing anything. And again, that's purely because it hasn't got enough water. So bringing the additional water siphon in will help. Now we're doing really well. We've got dye and we've got fibres. Now dye and fibres seem like they could be quite useful for producing more clothes. So let's have a look at our recipe book and we'll go to our textile factory. So dye, right. One of the things you can do is if you're in the recipe book or in any of the screens, if you hold down shift, you can say, right, dye, what's that used in? It's used in heavy fabric, light fabric, paints and summer clothes. Okay, that's useful. Fibres, what's that used in? Heavy fabric and light fabric. So we could look at producing light fabric. So let's see what light fabric requires. Fibres and dye. And that gives us light fabric. What will that sell for? Light fabric sells for 163,000 per unit. Is that worth it? So if we're supplying 4 every 15 days, that's going to give me 160,000 just for fibres. And the same for dye, so it's 320,000 potentially. If I converted that all to light fabric, then we're not really going to make a great deal of money. What does summer clothes require? That requires light fabric and dye. So it requires 2 light fabric and 2 dye. So it could be worth looking at changing our building to summer clothes, because that will give us 573,000 per unit, which will be significantly more than we're making at the moment. It's worth investigating that. Now, as you can see, my town influence is now 100, which is brilliant for us. If I look at my loans now and try and take out a loan, you'll see my settlement loan for Chillingham is 5%. So that's really the lowest interest rate we can get. So again, that's one of the reasons you want to ensure that your influence is high with the towns and you don't want to do anything to jeopardize it. Now I've just seen that we now have a car part shop. Very good, I like that. It means now that we can think about, ooh, that's my collection rate, my destination slots in my warehouse finished. We can think about additional things. So biofuel, which requires potatoes and refined oil. Yeah, not really. Car seats, furniture bases and cotton. That might be worth it. And that can go for 1.02 million every whatever. So again, considering our long-term goal is to build a car, that might be worth considering as well. I do have a tax break on at the moment, which is reducing our upkeep by 25%. Again, all good. And it does appear, if I check the warehouse out, that our water situation is stabilized. Our berry situation, on the other hand, we seem to have an excess of them. What else can we use for berries for? Well, let's find out. Go to berries, hold down shift. They're used in berry pie, berry smoothie, dye, and yeast. Now I know that the Chillingham seems to be making yeast at the moment, so I don't really want to try and undercut them. Berry pies, berry smoothies, maybe worth doing. Or do I just reduce the amount of berries I'm producing? Again, might be an option for me. As long as we've got plenty of cotton. Now, cotton does seem to be a area that I'm not getting as enough for. Again, that could be due to the water situation. You'll notice that the cycles are not quite fully stored yet. Restored, yeah, due to the water. So we'll just keep an eye on things for the time being. Right, we are spending money on R&D. What's this? Deliver 14 berries to Seven Oaks. Now I'm going to just pause the game there. I have a surplus of berries, which is good. But where is Seven Oaks? That's Towchester. Seven Oaks is all the way on the other side. And then when do they want it? They want it September year 6. 14 berries. Decline that one, I think. Because even if I was to send a trade route from here with the berries all the way along, and the completion reward is 285,000. Definitely decline that one. It's not worth the effort. Right. So again, we're making money. The R&D is going to drain our reserves a little bit, so we want to think about how we can boost that. If I have a look at our production overview, and we go for where are we? Tier 1 was it? Right, last month's production was 4, last month's consumption was 4, and last month's production of fibres was 8, and consumption was 4. Does that mean we're producing too many fibres, perhaps? Possibly. We're still making a reasonable amount of money. Let's see. Deliver 10 cotton to Chillingham. Do I have a surplus of cotton? No, so we won't be doing that. In fact, I think I did say that the problem was that we didn't have enough cotton. So, a new regulation. I wonder if that's going to increase my upkeep. It is. So we're fully demanded for that. I've got 4 stored, so we're partially supplying there. And fully supplying it for dye. So all is going well so far. We're just working on increasing the collection radius for our warehouse. And let's hope these guys are producing. Again, we're still not... I'd expect 12 water, so are we having problems with water? We should have enough. We are running through in that, so yeah, production is going back up to speed, so that's good. Satellite car parts factory. Is there anything we can produce here that's relatively simple that's going to give us a good return? Windows. So Windows needs glass. Okay. Let's have a look at our town centre. Do we have sand? We do. Do we have coal? We do. So we could think about... That's iron. Where's the coal? There's the coal. We could think about putting in a glass production facility here. Might be worth doing. Again, the big problem with this place is space. That is the major issue here. Let's wait for our warehouse research to finish, and then we'll think about maybe starting producing some windows. Again, this will be quite useful for us. It's another market. One of the things is I don't want to oversaturate any of the stores. I want to produce enough where I'm still making money, but at the same time we'd get a wide variety of goods being produced. Right, what's these? Steel frames. That just needs steel to make steel frames. Again, 190,000, so it might be worthwhile actually just doing steel frames. Steel requires iron and steel, iron and coal even. I have iron, I have coal, I have iron and coal together. So I could build a little factory up here to make steel frames. Might be worth investigating. Right, so we made a bit of a loss last month, which wasn't great. Not sure why. We're still producing enough in terms of our fibres. Are we producing too many, perhaps? Don't think so. Seem to have a surplus of fibres and not a surplus of dye. Why is that? Let's have a look at our plantations. We've got... that should be 12 really, but then are they all running at the same time? No, that's why it's not 12. So we're producing enough berries. How long does it take? 25 days for dye and 20 days for fibre. Again, water, enough for 2 cycles. So we're good there. I wonder why we're not producing in excess then. As I said, we have plenty of berries. Is it just the production? I'm going to dump those out, actually. Don't want to dump that, though. I'm going to send all of the cotton back to the warehouse. Warehouse number 1. Let's see if we can get that down. 24, yes, so let's pause the game for a second. We want to deliver 24 cotton to Chillingham, fibres to Chillingham. Gives me 1.68 million and 189%. So we'll accept that. We'll go to our truck depot. Instead of sending that to clothing store, we'll send that to our contract. Because I've got a ton of it sitting there, so this shouldn't be an issue for me. Right, let that run. April 10, year 7. Yeah, I've got time. Hopefully. Right, our truck depot is just clearing out all of that. So now that's all clear, I can get rid of that. We delivered 4 so far. Might have to tweak the truck depot to just have a specific route to move all of these. The thing is, I don't want to, again, saturate the market, because if I do, then the price will just plummet, and that's not what we want to do. So we just want to be patient for the time being. And we're making some nice progress with our research. And the dye is coming in slowly, but it is coming in. And we're making plenty of berries. Let's just check our warehouse. We've got plenty of cotton sitting in there. So there isn't any hold-ups here. I think it's just purely the amount of time it takes to produce the dye. So there isn't any resource hold-ups. Okay, how are we getting on? We've delivered halfway, half of the amount, and we're not even halfway through our timer, so that's good. This will be a nice big influx of cash for us. Again, we're doing reasonably well cash-wise. Everything's quite stable. The obviously downside is I didn't realise how small an area we're on. But we can work around it, and we can look at expanding once we've got a nice solid base in place. And the trucks are sending more stuff out. Right, so we need to deliver 4 more of our fibres, and this contract will be complete. What are you full? Full of what? Berries. Interesting. So I'm actually producing too many berries. Do I want to increase the amount of dye production? How much does it need? 6 and 4 water. We'll leave it for the time being. Yay, contracts successfully completed. Great. That's another 1.68 million in the bank. So we'll change our truck depot back to delivering fibres to the clothing store. Research is almost finished. So we're actually clawing away quite nicely, and we are on a very tight piece of land. I am considering making steel frames, because again that would help. Well, one thing I haven't looked at is how much we're going to get for those. 190,000. So I could make steel frames, or I have plenty of cotton. I can make furniture bases, and I could put it together to make car seats. Car seats would give me 1.02 million, and I need one every 15 days. That might be a good thing. So if I look at my warehouse, I can see I've got an absolute surplus of cotton. Oops, one. I press space instead. Do I have anywhere I could put trees down? Oh, that's my research done. So if I now look at my warehouse, the radius has increased substantially by another 5 squares. So that's going to make life easier for us down the line. No trees. I want trees. So we need to find a space to put my forest down. I can plant trees. I just need to know where to put them. Have cotton. Could put trees down. Could make car seats. Could make lots of money. Let's see what research is required for car seats, shall we? Alright, so it's going to be under... Which one will it be under? That's a car prototype. Well, where else would it be under? Carpentry. Alright, so that's going to take a long time to research.
I don't know that one.
Excuse me, Alexa decided just to cut in there. She's obviously not getting enough attention. Alright, so wooden planks, furniture bases. Chillingham is looking at making office furniture. So we would just have to build. Deliver 13 to Towchester. I think Towchester's miles away, isn't it? Yeah. Decline. Again, not worth the effort. I do love the sound effect when you decline a contract. It's like paper being torn up. Alright. We should be in a good position now. We are making 720,000 per month. And we're basically losing a little bit. Well, actually making 362,000. We're not making a huge loss. We're making 130,000 profit. So as long as we keep things ticking over quietly, we should be in a relatively good position. Just have a look at our loans. Our starter loan is paid off in 66 months. We could pay it off now, actually. Let's do that. Paying off the loan. It drops us down to 3.3 million, but it does mean we're not paying out anything. So that will be a good thing for us. We're debt free. The burden has been lifted. Okay, so they're producing an iron mine. And this is obviously for them producing their seats. I feel like I'm being muscled out. Right, mould. What do you want? You're making ironmongery, so We could look at expanding into mould. Do you have iron? No, you have copper. I have iron. I have iron. What's going to be the best for me? Steel barrels require steel. Cans require steel. Cans could be the best one, actually. I've got enough to produce steel cans. Is it going to be worth the transport costs? Ceramics, glass and sand. I can produce glass. I can produce sand. It gives me 152,000. Offer 12 berries to Chillingham. Do I have a surplus of berries? Yes, I do. Accept this contract. Destination. Farm produce. Berries. Contracts. Send. Probably not a big one, but you know what? And deliver that one. Decline. It will help. Yep, my trucks should be off to the wholesaler. Right, we were looking back at mould and seeing what we could do here. So mould has contract done. 220,000, maybe not be a great deal, but you know, it gets rid of some of those berries. So mould, we could start making ceramics, which is just glass and sand. And for glass, we need sand and coal. I have both. It gives us 152,000. I could also make LED wires. Oh, LED wires. Diodes. Yeah, might be worth doing. These are things we'll think about in our next video. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you dislike this video, feel free to dislike it. If you have any comments at all, then please leave them in the comments section. And if you want to see more of these videos, please feel free to subscribe. It just leaves me to wish you a very great day. And I look forward to you watching my next video. Thank you very much.